The writing is on the wall. We are already seeing a rise in contractors, apprenticeships, and freelance workers. This means that creativity and will are going to be valued more than effort or time. Your ideas, your thoughts, your dreams, and your goals will be your new currency. So you might ask, if there's no hope of a steady job, what will we do in the future? It's a great question, and one which I think boils down to 3 principles, and none of them involve a nice resume or the ability to wow a stranger in a job interview. These will be the 3 principles I'm tackling in this book. The first one is build your ideal environment to create. My best example of this is a friend who wanted to write a novel many years ago. When I encouraged him to do so along with me, he refused. He didn't want to match my timeline or my deadline. He didn't want to, quote, tarnish the purity of the story by rushing it out. You probably already know the punchline, right? He has still not written chapter 1. This didn't really happen because my friend is lazy or unfocused. To be honest, he's neither. It happens because he did not build his particular environment to accomplish that dream. He did not carve out the time in the day to write. He never removed the outline for the story from his mind. He never set deadlines. He did not find a way to stay accountable for his writing. Humans respond and adapt to their environment. It's not the other way around. When we have the conditions to grow, to create, to succeed, we often will. And the good news is we have the ability to manipulate our environment little by little. This happens not through a series of luck or nice bosses, but through intentional actions over time, some of which we'll talk about in this book. My friend actually did build his own environment. It just wasn't an environment which included his yet-to-be-written book. Life got busy. His interests changed, and he needed to pay rent. You may have gone through a similar situation. We are living in the loudest, fastest, busiest period of human history, and sometimes it seems impossible to get through the day, much less move forward on your creative goals. The world is changing every second, and the stimuli we react to are also ever-changing. We all adapt to our environment. Who is going to build yours? The second thing we're going to tackle in this book is the ability to find and solve problems. Because from the dawn of time, humans have solved problems. In the future, that's what we're going to continue to do. Even if that problem is, oh no, the robots have outsmarted us. What should we do? Problem solving is inherently human. Early man had to solve the problem of an angry, hairy beast sprinting toward him. If he did not solve that problem, his tribe had to solve the problem of where to put a body. As we have grown, the problems we found and solved have evolved along with us. Thousands of people are dying and we don't know why. Some animal species are going extinct. What can we do about that? We really like Cheez-Its, but we'd also like a not as good version. Sorry if there are any cheese nips lovers listening to this right now. I hate them. I hate them. Ironically, as we continue to solve problems and make our lives more comfortable, guys, we became the machines. We're doing things without thinking about them, repeating tasks over and over and over again for a paycheck. With the start of the Industrial Revolution, we traded our critical thinking skills for following orders. We traded our autonomy for steady income. I mean, there's no sense in laying the blame on anyone, and there's no need to cast damnation. That fact simply is. It happened. Humans became what we are through the systematic discovery and elimination of problems. And though we may have forgotten that for a while, a return to that philosophy is necessary and inevitable, not just for people who own businesses, but for everyone. It's not only about solving problems which matters, though. It's about communicating that solution effectively. When a solution happens without salesmanship, the creative genius becomes the starving artist. And I hate it when that happens. I mean, clearly the person who generates the idea is the one with the incredible mind, the one with impeccable instincts, the one who has a unique attunement with themselves. They are unable to make the exchange, though, and they often sacrifice a cut of the money or attention for a salesperson. The one thing machines cannot do yet is generate ideas. This means creative people hold the keys to the future. You know the saying, time is money? Well, that won't be true in a few years. Most of the time-based tasks we find annoying will be automated. Soon, the phrase will be, ideas are money. And often, a lot of it. The third principle we'll tackle in this book is selling your art. And this is where things get interesting. Because another activity which seems to be uniquely human is making art. I mean, think about it. You are part of a race which created the cello. You drew on walls before there was paper, and you made drums from animal skins. You sang songs before you had words to express how you felt. That's your history. All cards on the table, I don't believe you can live a full life with only the first two principles in this book. I believe you must sell something of your own in order to fully experience the new world. And maybe you think, I'm not an artist. I can't sell art. And that's okay. I used to think that way too. But one day I started thinking of art in a different way. Art is telling your story by any means necessary. In this book, we're going to talk about not only artists, but people who weren't artists whatsoever, yet contributed creative ideas to change the world and their own lives. I take pictures of my dog as he begs me for ice cream, which is art. I dance clumsily in the kitchen when my wife's favorite song comes on. That's art. I describe to readers how obnoxious my cat is right now as he's curling up in the corner on the laundry that I just folded. That's art. Art is also more than one area of expertise. Being Michael Jordan of whatever you do is hard. Few people have the discipline to go that deep in one pool. Instead, combining your interests, experiences, and talent into something which is undeniably you is a good way to make your art unique and powerful. Art is important for a couple of reasons. The first one, it fills the human experience. We have two halves of a brain for a reason, right? We must access them both in order to taste all this life has to offer. And second, art is an item of tangible value, and she who makes it deserves to be compensated. I think maybe we forget this. More specifically, I think we fail to realize our art can be sold. Although we systematically line up every day for other people's unique work and art, our own creative genius seldom sees the light of day. My sister-in-law makes custom quilts. That's art. She could sell it. A close friend of mine collects music. He often gives reviews of this music, not to a blog, but any and everyone who would listen. That's art, and he could sell it, or at least start a site and run advertisements. Is art all about making money? No, of course not, and I don't want you to think that as you go through the book. Art is all about art, but money is nice to have around too. With a few specific changes in your thinking, we'll be able to talk about the things that will elevate your art and take it to building an income from what you would be doing anyways. These three things, creating an environment to execute your ideas, finding and solving problems, and selling your art, will be your compass in the new world. Together, they'll point you toward your true north. What's your true north? I have no idea. Maybe it's growing within the job you already have. Maybe it's transitioning to a freelance career. Maybe it's an extra $1,000 to $5,000 somewhere to pay off some debts. Or maybe it's simply finding more time to do the things you love. You'll find a guide to all of these things and more in this book. Read these pages with your ideal life in mind, and the information within will start to form a pattern, a path that can guide you. If you picked up this book, I know you are ready to be unstoppable. The only thing to do next is start.